Hey guys, what's up? Welcome to the channel, or welcome back to the channel. This is Living in Denver, Colorado. Today, we're gonna head right back out east. We're gonna cover it. We've been asked about it. Pros and cons, Sky Ranch, East Aurora, Colorado. Let's go.
Let's go. What's up, guys? We are the Mile High Property Brothers. I'm Eli Schmidt. This is my business partner, Will Grimes. If it's your first time checking the channel out, guys, hit that subscribe button below along with the notification bell, because every Tuesday and every Thursday morning we're dropping a new video and we're telling you everything there is to know about moving to or living in the Denver, Colorado area.
100%. And we are licensed brokers in the state of Colorado, which means as much as we love making these videos, we would love more to help you guys with your real estate needs. So that number popping up below, we are the guys who answer the phone calls and the text messages. We are also the guys who answer the emails if email is more comfortable for you. But either way, if you've got questions on this video or anything else, we would love to help you guys with your real estate needs here in Colorado. So with that being said, we're gonna get right to it. Pros and cons, Sky Ranch, Colorado.
All right, guys, so a little bit of context. You've heard us talk about Aurora before. You have not heard us talk about Sky Ranch, and this is an area that we've been dying to get out to, because this is going to be a massive development
100%.
Out in this completely undeveloped area in Aurora.
Right, just to give you guys a little topographical view. You like that from my vernacular? Topographical view. We're going to be, just southeast of I-70 and Tower, so you are not too far from the Gaylord Resort. You are super close to DIA, Denver International Airport, and you're not too far from Anschutz Medical Campus out in North Aurora. So really cool, bang for buck. We're gonna kind of get into that today, but just to give you guys a view of what that looks like, it might look like it's a little bit further out. You are 29 to 36 minutes from downtown Denver. That's I-70 directly west. So believe it or not, you're not as far as you might think. You're probably about 36 to 39 minutes from Denver Tech Center, depending on traffic. But really not as far as you think. And this is something that we always try to let our audience know that's moving to Colorado. When we say outskirts, man, we're still way under an hour as far as outskirts. This is not a Chicago or a California where you can't go anywhere in 45 minutes in Southern California. So the outskirts for us, it's like, man, it's 36 minutes, it's 29 minutes. It's really feasible. And what's nice is, there's still a lot of unincorporated Colorado where you still got amazing views and you've got great schools, but it's not entirely incorporated like your Californias and your Chicagos and some other places. So definitely turn these stones and just keep your eye out for other areas like Sky Ranch or anywhere else. But man, like, it's just, as much as people say Denver's like, oh, it's so congested, it's so busy. The heart of Denver can be, but there's so much more that hasn't been developed on yet. Man, like, you're still at a great time.
Those people haven't been to a real big city. Promise you that.
And I lived in Southern California for a long time. We're gonna get into some of these pros and cons just to give you guys a little bit of context. And the name Sky Ranch, like, I don't know if there's a ranch out here. It's got plenty of sky. I think a lot of places in Colorado have sky. So I'm a little confused at that.
Your logic is so flawed, son. Hell, it almost makes sense.
All right, guys, so it's a pro and con video, so let's get right into it, okay? So starting off, one of the pros right now, with this being such a developing area, it is all new build homes out here. There are no pre-existing homes. There's probably some actual ranches that are out here, and those are the only pre-existing homes you're gonna find. But guys, the biggest bang for your buck right now in all of Colorado is probably right here in Sky Ranch, I would say.
It's always fun to see what he's gonna say. Guys, we we are the guys who help you with your real estate needs. We are out every day doing deals, helping our team with all of the deals. So we don't script these. Like we're very familiar with these areas, and we speak freely and have some fun. And sometimes I don't quite know what he might say because it's not scripted. And he's always like, all right, pro. And I'm like, see if this is because if it was not a pro, I was going to call him out. Well, it's a pro. Right. And just kind of speaking more specific, when he talks bang for buck, your average price out here right now is $400 to like $600. $605
max.
Was the max. There was 2 homes or 1 home that sold for $605 out here.
Yeah.
Huge, phenomenal home, but the majority of them are like that mid-5 to mid-4.
Yeah.
And for the size of home and the neighborhoods that you're getting, everything is brand new. It's under warranty. You've got structural warranties. You've got your porch to porch, what most people call bumper to bumper warranties with new build homes.
Yeah.
A lot of really cool stuff, and just the Colorado feel as far as like the parks and outdoor experience you get. Right, with the neighborhoods, it's super cool. So when we're talking bang for buck, it's extraordinary. But to be specific, to find homes at this size, from mid-4s to mid-5s, almost unheard of. And again, like it seems like it's on the outskirts, but we're 29 to 36 minutes from downtown Denver. I mean, our outskirts is definitely not where some outskirts are, like we've talked about before. But man, specific to that bang for buck, mid-4s to mid-5s, unheard of.
Yeah, and you've got all the big builders out here, guys. The Taylor Morrisons, D.R. Horton, Century Homes, Richmond Homes, all those
Taylor
guys.
Morrison, don't mind if I do.
Fancy.
Pardon me, would you have any Grey Poupon? But of course.
So, guys, you've got all the big name builders out here, and we do have great relationships with all of them. So if you guys are curious about this area, definitely give us a call. But he was kind of leading into our first con, and it is a little bit further out there. Like,
a little bit.
It is still very reasonable. There's everything out here that you need, but you got here a little bit.
So let's give an example. Like shopping is a little bit limited. You have it, right? You've got, I-70 Towers, a huge development. You've got Walmart. You've got grocery stores. You've got your Les Schwab tires, tire replacement centers. You've got a lot that's right there in the heart, and that's just south of like your Montbello toward Denver. So you do have some access to grocery stores and gas stations and restaurants and things
Everything
that you'll
you
need. Do you have endless amounts of that yet? No. Will you soon within the next couple of years? Yes. But as far as like your gyms and your stores and your necessities, you've got what you need. You just don't have an extraordinary amount of options, but you've got some decent ones that are right there. And again, if you do want to go somewhere further, always that option as well, but a little bit more limited because it is technically outskirts in Colorado. Some commercial's been developed, really good commercial. More will come as more homes are developed as well, but still a bit out there per se. Jumping back into bang for buck, this is a little bit separate, but definitely coincides with just putting on your business hat when it comes to investing in real estate.
It's a pro for sure.
100%. So whether it's an investment property or your primary property, but you want to use as far as like just leveling your life up, like, hey, let's put that business hat on. So Colorado had an appreciation rate last year of 16%,
as
right?
a whole, Denver metro area as a whole.
Right, so for example, we had someone just close on their home at 765. It got appraised at 910. He went under contract on his new build a year ago. 760 or 765 was the purchase price. It got capped. Hey, everything was getting made. By the time the home was developed and finished, we just did our final walkthrough, the appraisal was 910.
Crazy.
I don't even know if he can afford the home he lives in.
That's the funny part.
Because he wasn't qualified for a 910 home. He was, 760 was where he was at.
Yeah.
So now he lives in a home he can't afford, but he doesn't have to spend that because he's not paying that. He's paying the 765, right? So really cool when it comes to equity. Even if you cut that 16% in half, and let's go at 8%. Do the math on 8% of 500,000. That's how much your home is appreciating out here. So when you've got these new builds, some people say that new builds they appreciate a little bit slower because they're newer and the value of the land isn't as good as like the heart of Denver.
Not anymore.
True. True. However, because Colorado's growing so much, and these next 5 to 10 years are going to be extraordinary for Colorado, that 36-minute outskirt right now will not be the outskirts a year from now, 2 years from now, 3 years from now. The outskirts will be an hour and a half from Denver, not 36 minutes from Denver. So if you're looking at those outskirts, put that business hat on and understand the equity you can have in your primary home. And maybe your goal is to live in Centennial or Inglewood or in the heart of Denver. Cool. Wouldn't you want to just own a home and live in that for a couple of years and take your equity from that and put that down on a bigger home or a more expensive home or where you want to be for the long term? and you just made money on that. So as much as we talk about the pleasurability of homes and we gotta love it and oh, the kitchen is great and these certain things, let's also wear the business hat of real estate. Like this is why we're such advocates of it in the first place. Make sure you're turning those stones and wearing your business hat and thinking about, man, is there an equity opportunity I could have out east in Aurora that could benefit me long term?
Man,
100%. You don't even have to sell it. Eli's a big fan of make that original primary home a rental and then go buy another primary home and live in that one and so on and so forth. And if you guys have questions on that, we can help you. We've got tons of clients that have bought several investment properties now. He's a big fan of it. Man, it's super cool to think of. And as far as like where Colorado's at and where it's going to be in the next 10 years, even cooler, especially if you have equity.
now diving into another con, taxes are a little bit higher. Now you're
So
going to see
negative,
that.
bro.
You're going to see that in any new development area because they're having to build schools, fire departments, police departments, all the infrastructure that goes behind neighborhoods and a new development. That gets wrapped up into your taxes. So right out here, they're averaging 1 to 1.1%. So keep an eye out for that. But man, the affordability of the homes more than makes up for what you're paying as far as higher taxes
Correct,
goes.
and that's traditional, guys, especially in the state of Colorado. That's something that no matter what new area you're in, they've got to build schools, they've got to build fire departments, they've got to build police departments, they've got to have infrastructure and roads, and a lot of that early on building comes from that. So, but when you're looking at 1 to 1.2% of your price point, but the price point out there is a little bit more affordable, it's really not that crazy either. So we're really digging hard to find a con on that one. But overall, man, really cool spot. It's got a cool name, makes you feel like the Colorado experience, Sky Ranch. It just feels like I feel like I'm on Yellowstone, but I'm not. I'm in suburbia.
He's on a Yellowstone kick lately. That's what
Good
it is.
show.
I still haven't seen it. I need to.
Eli,
I know. I'll get into it.
what's that line? Your logic is so far off, son. It almost makes sense. All right, guys, there you have it. That is Sky Ranch. I know we were digging hard to find cons, but man, when the equity is so good and the environment is so good and our outskirts isn't really an outskirt, it's hard to find a con. But whether you need more shopping centers to be centralized to you specifically versus just one or two, that could be a con for you. If you don't like lower affordable prices, hey, that could be a con for you. Whatever that looks like, the bottom line is, just like we say every other spot, turn these stones, see what works for you. Especially when you're making a big decision as far as moving out of state, just, man, make sure you look at everything that's possible for you and the business side, the equity side of areas, not just, do I like the kitchen or does it have a big backyard? Look at the business side of everything. If you guys have questions on that, please give us a phone call. That number popping up below. We are licensed brokers in Colorado, which means we can answer these phone calls and help you, or text messages or emails. But again, we would love to help you guys with all of that. But man,
that's it.
Till next video, subscribe.
Sky Ranch, guys, may not be Mr. Right. Maybe it's Mr. Right now. That's all you need.
He's always saying that. I feel like one day he's going to have a different guy on camera with him, and it's going to be a problem.
Mr. Right. I thought he was Mr. Right now. It turned out he was Mr. Right.
You see that, like, forced affection you just gave me? We're out of here. See you next week.
See you guys.